Hey, everybody. Welcome to the TradersPost video where we're going to cover how the ChartPrime Johnny Bravo strategy kit works with TradersPost. So if you are watching this video, it's because you've already signed up for the Bravo kit on ChartPrime and you've been referred to TradersPost in order to automate the entire strategy, which is not something that's normally possible on TradingView. And it's how our service was actually designed. TradersPost is a platform that allows you to automate strategies from all kinds of different platforms, including TradingView and TrendSpider, and even in your own programming language. But on our platform, we have a no-code solution that allows you to set up a strategy or an indicator on TradingView and get it all set up with a broker of your choice. So what Tom and I are going to do on this tutorial here is basically show you how the strategy works in TradingView and how to wire it up to TradersPost to trade with your broker. The nice thing about TradersPost is that everything works in the cloud. So once you set up this alert and set up a connection from TradingView to TradersPost, you can turn off your computer, you can walk away, and the whole system will work on its own in the cloud. So let me step through the process here. If you've been given access to the Bravo kit at this point, you should already see a similar screen here. I'm on Tesla on the 1 hour chart, and my preset in the strategy is set to Tesla 1 hour. So there's a couple of caveats to consider with the inputs on the strategy in TradingView. One of them is that you have control over the amount of leverage that will be used in the strategy, and you've got control over whether it will go long and short or just long only. And so two considerations to make here are whether or not you have a margin account with your broker and whether or not you're able to short sell in that account. So you need to check with your broker in advance of one of the many brokers that we support. This includes like Robinhood and Alpaca and here I'll pull up the whole list for you. If you head to TradersPost and you click on connections, it'll show you all the brokers we support on the stock side. So we have TradeStation, Alpaca, Tradier, Robinhood, E-Trade, Tasty Trade, and Interactive Brokers. And since we're trading stocks here, those are obviously the brokers that are going to matter. So you'll need to confirm with your broker whether you have margin support and whether you can short sell. And then those settings will make will make a lot more sense. Now, if you're in a cash account and you can't short, then we're just going to change the settings here. We'll do leverage of 1, which means no leverage at all. And then I'll hit longs only to make sure that it's only trading the longs. This way, I'm not violating any of the rules with my broker. We've already baked in the messages that need to get sent to TradersPost to tell TradersPost how and what we should be trading. Those are in these messages in the alert settings. And then what we're going to do next is actually wire this up on TradersPost and then set up an alert to show you how this will work on an automated basis. So
Now,
go ahead, Tom.
Mike, yeah, so you were saying here that we can connect this automatically with your broker. I just want to remind everyone that we do have a feature within TradersPost that allows you to test this with a paper broker. And so before you're running this with any live money, you could also make sure that the whole thing is working. So what Mike's could be going through here, this idea that the signal that is being created from the ChartPrime strategy on TradingView is going from TradingView to TradersPost to your broker. And that whole process we're gonna step through right now. But you don't have to worry. You don't have to use live money to begin with. You can make sure that everything's working 100% the way that you want to before you make it live.
Absolutely. We're big fans of making sure that you've managed risk properly here at TradersPost. So one way to ensure that it's all set up and you're not taking trades that could end up turning against you is to run this through a paper broker first. So what I'll do is I'll show how to set the connection up first with a paper broker. Every brand new account in TradersPost begins with a fresh TradersPost paper broker. So I'll set one up here for ChartPrime, and it's already created in your account. It's just called TradersPost. And I'm going to go ahead and hit save here. Now, one of the things about the paper broker with TradersPost is that it comes with delayed data. So if you want to make sure that the paper broker is getting correct data with the current market price, then you'll need to connect one of your live brokers where you have market data available. In my case, I can choose like my Tasty Trade margin account. And when I hit save there, oops. Yeah, there we go. When I hit save there, that is going to make sure that I'm getting my market data from my Tasty Trade account so that my simulator on the Traders Post paper broker makes sense. So now what I'm going to do first here is actually set up the strategy by heading to the strategies link here on the left. And I'm going to create a new strategy. And this will be called the ChartPrime strategy. And we'll say the the asset class is stocks. I don't need to worry about tickers. If I want email notifications, I can set that up here. You could limit it to only come from TradingView, but our system, allows you some additional security controls here. And then if you want, you could link to the TradingView URL for your own reference. Most of these things are just optional details. So you can just hit save. And then the next thing we're going to step you through is actually choosing the broker that you want to connect this account to, or this strategy to. So I know I had just created that Traders Post ChartPrime broker, the paper broker. So I'm going to connect that. And then I'm going to step through the process of how to define my strategy settings now with my strategy subscription, as we call it. In Traders Post parlance, we refer to the connection of a broker to a strategy, a subscription. So what you're doing is subscribing your broker to this strategy. So the first thing I'm going to do is, we can give this a little bit shorter of a name. We'll just call this the ChartPrime paper strategy. I'm going to turn auto submit on. This is a feature that's available once you upgrade to a paid account. In a paper account, it will not allow auto submit. It'll just come through as an order that you'll have to manually approve, which will give you a good sense of how everything works until you're ready to upgrade. This account, I'm going to treat as if it's just a cash account, so I can only go bullish on my trades. Otherwise, if I can go long and short, I'm going to change sides to both bullish and bearish. Another thing I'm going to do is disable side swapping, which is great for strategies where you're ping-ponging back and forth between long and short. So if I do want side swapping on, where I go long and then I want to switch to short and then I want to switch to long again, then I would keep this off. But this particular strategy has its own entry and exit signals, so I'm going to keep disable side swapping checked here. I don't have to worry about sides isolated. We already know that this is connected to the paper broker. I'm going to allow any ticker, asset classes, stocks. I can specify trading window rules, but that's not relevant to this strategy. And then this is the most important section here. So the strategy settings, or the alerts that come from the TradingView side of things, might have a quantity defined, but we can define that here within the strategy subscription. So you could choose a percent of your equity that gets traded. I could say, okay, when the Bravo Tesla signal comes in, I only want it to trade 50% of my available balance. Or I could say a fixed quantity, where each time a signal comes in, I only want it to trade one share. In either case, you can define that here. If you just want it to trade your whole balance, which is how the strategy is currently defined in TradingView, then you can just set this to 100%. Now, if you have a margin account that allows you to trade a little bit of leverage, then you can set this to above 100%. For example, with Robinhood, they allow you to access up to 2x margin. So I could change this to 200%. And as long as there's no other open positions in that Robinhood account, then it's going to trade all of my available cash plus the available margin and trade the full margin balance. In that case, in the ChartPrime strategy, I'm going to change that leverage to 2 in the settings. And that would allow me to use 2x leverage with each position.
This is important to keep in mind here. Just to repeat what Mike was just saying, the position size is determined by your setting in TradersPost. This is not being sent over from TradingView. So regardless of whatever it's saying in TradingView as far as the size of your position is concerned, or your account value or anything like that, you can ignore that. That's just for information for backtesting and performance. What you really want to pay attention to is the position size you set within your subscription here on TradersPost.
Correct. So the one thing that we're going to uncheck here to make sure that the rules regarding position size are only within TradersPost and in the settings here is I want to turn off this use signal quantity. If this is on and there is a quantity rule that's sent over, then it would listen to the message instead of listening to my settings here. So I'm going to turn that off. Now, there's two more decisions to make here, and that's whether you want to use limit orders or market orders. In many cases, it's much easier to get into a position with a market order. So I'm going to change my entry order to market, and then I'll change my exit order to market as well. And then we don't need to worry about take profit or stop loss rules because this strategy just sends an exit signal on when to get out. So now I'm going to, whoops, let me turn this off. If you're bullish only and you're going long only, then you don't need to worry about side swapping. So that's why it's yelling at me here. So I can uncheck that. And now this subscription is live and I have a webhook URL available to me for this particular strategy. I'm going to copy that and then we'll show you how to set up the alert to connect the TradingView strategy to your subscription here, which, like I mentioned, this is just on the paper account. But auto submit is ready to go. And this is bullish only. This is going to trade 200% of my equity. So I'm assuming that this is a margin account that allows me to trade with margin. So we go back over to the settings. I have 2x enabled here, longs only. And I'm going to go to the alert here now. So now that my strategy settings are in place, the one other thing I want to make sure is that the account is in sync with what TradersPost shows. So there shouldn't be any open positions in TradingView. And in my broker that I just created for ChartPrime, if I go down here and I go to view, there shouldn't be any open positions with that broker. Oops.
This is important, folks, because TradersPost, what we're doing is we're connecting with your broker, right? Your position is not being held at TradersPost; it's being held at the broker. And so, let's say you're trading the Tesla stock and you already have 10 shares of Tesla. Well, if you send an order to add or sell or anything like that, we're also taking into consideration the position you have there already. So, what Mike is suggesting here is, if you want to start off and make sure that what you're seeing on TradingView is matching what you're seeing at your broker, that you don't have any open positions on your broker for this stock, and that your strategy on TradingView doesn't think that you're already in a position.
Correct. So earlier I mentioned that I'm assuming this is a margin account. So I would actually have $200,000 available to me in this account. And when the signal gets sent to trade Tesla, it's going to trade $200,000 worth of Tesla, not $100,000 worth. So here's how we're going to do this next. We're going to set up the alert by clicking on the alert tab, and we'll hit the plus sign, and we'll go to the condition and change it to the Bravo Plus strategies. And as you can see, it's already connected to Tesla 1 hour. I can give this a name. We'll say ChartPrime TSLA. And I'm going to leave this message here alone. That message is basically going to be populated by the strategy to tell TradersPost exactly what to trade and which direction to trade. And then the last thing to do is to go back to the strategy I was on. I'm sure I copied it already, but I'll go back to my strategies, my subscriptions, and I'll click on the edit button for that strategy subscription I had just set up. And remember that we give you a webhook URL for this subscription. So I'm going to copy that URL here. And then in my notification settings, I'll check the box for webhook URL and paste in that URL that's given to me. That will allow me to take the messages that come from the strategies and send over that signal to TradersPost for my trade to get executed. So now when I hit create, I can see here in the alerts tab that a new alert will get created. Let me make this to the current symbol. And there it is right there. So now I have my ChartPrime Tesla alert, which is ready to send notifications to TradersPost to enter the next trade when it comes through. At the moment, there's no open position for Tesla. So the next trading session that comes through, it'll automatically get sent over. And then from here, I can keep track of the trades that come through by going to the notification tab or just heading to subscriptions and going to the ChartPrime subscription that I have in place and clicking on trades, and it will show the trades that have been executed here. Now, here's one little bonus point. I set this up on a paper account, but I can also trade a live account at the same time from the same signal. So because we already have a ChartPrime strategy in place, you can think of TradersPost as sort of a big network of all kinds of different signals that get sent. So we're going to keep this one strategy in place, but I'm going to connect another broker to the same strategy. So what I'll do is I'll head to subscriptions and I'll hit new subscription and choose my ChartPrime strategy from the list. And I'm going to actually connect my live Tasty Trade Roth IRA to this as well. So when I go to this next screen, you guys are familiar with this already. This is the strategy subscription settings. I'll say this is the Tasty Trade ChartPrime strategy. Auto submit is on. I'm going to go bullish on this only because this is a Roth IRA where I don't have margin and I don't have the ability to go long or short, or excuse me, long and short. I can only go long. So I don't have to disable the side swapping. And when I go down to the position size, I'll just say we'll use percent of equity and I'll say 100% of the account on each trade. I'm going to turn off the signal quantity because I want to just listen to these rules here. And then for my entry and exit, in this case, I'm just going to keep it at limit order. What's going to happen is when the signal comes in and what'll happen is we'll get the market price at that time and we'll submit a limit order at the current market price. And that should generally get filled. There are some times where a limit order doesn't get filled and I may have to deal with that manually. But in general, you've got the option. You can use market or limit orders. And I'm going to go ahead and enable this. So I got to agree to some agreements here. And now this is set. So now the strategy is set up to trade the same signal from this alert that I've already set up. So I don't have to go back and set up another alert. I'm basically sharing the same alert across two brokers now. Now, when a trade comes through on the ChartPrime strategy, I will be able to see those trades connected to two different accounts at the same time, which you can see here. Tom, did I leave anything out? I think we covered all the.
Sure. Just two things to add there.
Sure.
One, you're going to. We have a very robust documentation. If for some reason you wanted to go through the docs in order to get some clarity on what some of the features do, please feel free to do so. People love our documentation; it's very robust. And we also have different plans available for TradersPost. We know some people. This might be the only strategy you're running. Other people might have several strategies that they're looking to connect to their brokers. And so if you head over to traderspost.io/pricing, you'll be able to see all the different plans available. Usually the starter plan is more than enough if you're just running this one strategy with ChartPrime, but please feel free to take a look at our other options if you want to try other things. We've actually just scratched the surface here with the types of features that TradersPost actually has to offer. As you see here, as Mike has gone over some of these settings, there's all kinds of things we haven't even touched because those are for other more complex situations and different types of strategies. So please feel free to explore.
Yeah, so to follow up with what Tom was saying here, the documentation is in the bottom left-hand corner. That'll link you to a new link here that covers all kinds of different concepts. And of course, in the bottom right-hand corner, you've got the ability to reach out to us on support. Our support includes myself, Tom, Cam. You'll get a response from us, within a prompt period of time. We tend to turn around tickets within about a 14-hour period. But if we're on during the day, you should be hearing from us almost right away. So the main thing to consider here is that we handle support for signals that get to TradersPost. If you have an issue with the ChartPrime strategy or any of the settings here or have any questions, we encourage you to reach out to the ChartPrime team. If you're having issues with any of the alerts on TradingView, we encourage you to reach out to the TradingView support team on those issues. The moment that a signal gets to us, though, if it's not behaving the way that you expect, feel free to reach out to us. That's where our support team steps in and can really be most helpful for you.
Excellent.
Okay, Tom. Well, I think we did it in under 20 minutes here. I hope this isn't too long for you guys. But again, if you have any questions on wiring up the strategy from TradingView to TradersPost, feel free to reach out, or we'll try to add another video if we feel like we haven't covered the topics that come in. And cheers and good luck on the trading.